Welcome back to Season 5, Episode 5 of Teed Up, where everyone's a sports expert.
The podcast that makes you care about sports, including President Connolly.
We're an original podcast created and produced by Long Beach State student-run newspaper, The Long Beach Current. I'm Maddie C.
I'm Maddie G. Today we're joined by Long Beach State women's soccer coach, Mauricio Ingrassia. Now in his 22nd season coaching here, Ingrassia is the only head coach in Big West history to amass 7 NCAA tournament appearances. Apart from that, he's also the director of Beach Football Club. Thank you for joining us. The talent in the women's game, kind of at the collegiate level, runs so deep now. And then you just have the transfer, Naomi Girma, right, to Chelsea. Breaks the world record. She played collegiately at Stanford, right? All these opportunities are present. As a coach, do you kind of see this 2-year window, post-Copa America in the U.S., now World Cup, for just massive growth across the U.S.?
I mean, we've been on massive growth across the U.S., but I do still believe in the value of a college education and a college experience. And I do believe that you know, there's a reason why this is that I get the emails that I get from all over the world, people wanting to come to the U.S. because it's tied to education, and you have time to be a pro after that. So I'm a firm believer of a college experience, and then from there, you can develop into a professional player. You know, unless obviously the money is life changing. Yeah. Then you have different, you know, like it was at the beginning of like when, you know, men's basketball, right? I don't think we're at those numbers yet. So I do think that there's a ton of value to getting that college education and then jumping to the pros, but everybody's going to have their own personal choices. But the great thing is that those choices exist now.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned you've had several players go on to play professionally. How do you prepare players for that next level, or is it just something that you're just focused on kind of Long Beach State, and then that other stuff will come along as it happens, or are you actively kind of prepping players for that next level in a career further?
We talk about it, but obviously I think being part of the program, coming in as a freshman, getting an opportunity to maybe get your feet wet, get some minutes, seeing what this level is about, and then striving to get on the field. We play a very challenging non-conference schedule, getting on the field against those quality type of opponents, and really getting through the program, getting through the fitness rigors of the program, and the maturity. I love the maturity that happens in these 4 years. It's the last stage of player development, and there's been players that have grown tremendously and they've persevered and have gotten an opportunity. So because of those players, I think the seeds have been planted in our other players. And now if you ask my team, a lot of them have the dream to play professionally. So it's part of it is culture. Part of it is the challenging aspects of our program. And then the opportunities out there. It really makes the players motivated towards to achieve that goal. Just like a lot of them have a dream when they're in high school to play Division I. Now the Division I players have that dream. It's palpable to be able to play at the next level.
Talking about that maturity and kind of the physical demands, college you're coaching mostly 18 to 24-year-olds, right? On the professional side in the men's leagues now, we're seeing like 17, 18-year-olds playing professionally, 90 minutes, 40 matches a season. As a coach, do you see that as a concern for someone at their level? And then how do you kind of handle those physical demands for your players?
No, I think if it's 17-year-olds playing in a professional environment, there's a reason for that. They have the talent. And my motto has always been that if you're good enough, you're old enough. For us, the demand at our level is that you're playing 2 games a week. So when you play 2 games a week, that's very taxing on the body. So yes, so we do some things to mitigate, making sure that we're not burning players out, that they're not having to play 95 minutes on a Thursday and then 95 minutes on a Sunday, and yeah, I think. Doing things like limiting their minutes when we can. Like last year was a year where we were thin in numbers, so that was a little bit difficult. But yeah, you avoid injuries, so we do some of those things. We have a very good off-season program with our strength and conditioning coach that we hope gets the players ready thrive in the fall.
And then kind of shifting gears to like a recruiting standpoint, you've had a history of local talent on your team. What do you look for in a recruit, and how do you approach a scouting in such of like a competitive region?
Yeah, so we look for the obvious, like the technical, the tactical awareness, some sort of the physical part, right? But really, it's the mentality that I want to see hunger in a player. I want to see a player that wants to be here, wants to grow, has aspirations, and I think those we do best with those types of players that come in and are humble and hungry, and really take it all in, so the local talent, man, I always make it a point to see what we have to offer from the Long Beach area or greater Long Beach area or Orange County. We have a lot of players from this part of the world, and tonight I'm going to go watch the Long Beach Poly against Buena semifinal. There's some good talent on both of those teams. I've been getting texts. My family's from Ventura, so I've been getting texts on who I got to watch from Buena. I already know one of my beach coaches is the coach at Poly, so I know that there's a couple players there. Plus, one of our goalkeepers, alumni, Imani McDonald, is the Poly High goalkeeper coach. So I'm excited to watch the CIF semifinal tonight. To go continue with the Long Beach theme, and if there's players, we want to be able to bring them in, because there's nothing like having Long Beach kids play for Long Beach State.
Yeah, being the director of the Beach Football Club, would you say you have your eyes on this area more than probably anyone else?
Well, selfishly, we started the club to be able to recruit, and cast a net on the community, and maybe I coach them or my assistants coach them, or they get to know our facility. We have a lot of kids that come through our facility, and also, so the very first thing we did was change the name to Beach FC, and the next thing we did, we had shirts that said "Go Beach," right? And then the next thing we did was change the colors to black and gold. So yes, that was kind of the idea behind it all. Now we continue to pluck one or two kids, especially the local ones, to come to us. So Cherry Cox, Beach FC product, she's the offensive player of the year for the conference. 2 seasons ago, she's back training with us, but we'll be here in the fall. We had McKenna Irvine came in. She's a freshman now. She's one of the best 06s in that class. And there's several others sprinkled through our roster, but yes, Beach FC is a way to help bring players to us, but also a way to have kids dream to play at the next level. So a lot of the games that we have, like we play UCLA, we'll play in front of 2,000 people, and there's a lot of beach kids there, and maybe that sparks them to play at Long Beach, of course, but maybe, hey, I want to play in college, or I want to be like that player. And so there's a lot of those little stories that I really enjoy, that Beach has provided for the community.
Before asking the next question, I want to apologize, because last season I remember coming to you on a post-game interview and assuming you were playing a certain formation and getting it completely wrong. Formations are hard, especially in soccer for someone just learning, but how would you describe your system?
Formations are overrated.
Yeah.
So when you take the picture, it could be something different. So we're the best coaches until the whistle blows, because then people move, right? Then it could be anything. Well, we like to talk about a style of play. We like to possess the ball and build through the lines, and we had a very distinct style for a long time of possession-based soccer, building through the lines, that people started like, okay, this is how you play against these guys. And so, yeah, you get the antidote, right? So then we had to start becoming more chameleon-like. But our essence is still the same. But there's times when we have to adapt and change up and maybe be a little more direct, which is fine. And so then the system is to suit the style, or even to suit the player, the personnel that we have. So I would say our style of play is possession oriented, trying to build through the lines and trying to create as many. If we have the ball, then you don't have the ball, and so if we have it, then we'll be able to create more chances, and that's in essence what we're trying to do.
And then kind of managerial wise, was there any one specific person that you looked up to or worked under that you wanted to kind of take their philosophy or kind of integrate into your own system?
Man, I remember going to watch Mourinho play when he brought his Chelsea teams to UCLA to train. We went over there, watch him. Then obviously Pep came and changed the world. I actually went to Barcelona for 2 weeks in
2015.
With our team in 2015, but I was there in 2012.
Oh.
And then from there went to recruit our French first international, which was she was a French national team kid from Lyon, Chloe Fremont. So Pep is a big one. I mean, there's lots of, and obviously with an Argentine background, I follow a lot of coaches.
Scaloni.
Scaloni was a great story because nobody thought he could do anything, and then he proved everybody wrong. So he's great. You have Diego Simeone, Atletico. Bilardo, the World Cup coach in '86. Menotti, World Cup coach in '78. Those are two schools of thought. So there's a ton of players, but I'm enjoying watching Emma Hayes as well. Little known fact: we played against Iona College when she was the coach.
Oh, so before
her first season.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm enjoying watching her. I've got her book ordered.
There you go.
Because she's really changing the culture. But yeah, no, I'm a fan of a lot of different people. But if you had to pick one, it'd be Pep Guardiola.
Being from Rosario, what was it like seeing Argentina led by Messi winning the World Cup?
It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing. So I'm a fan of the World Cup. So when I came here and I couldn't feel the game or experience the game the way I experienced it my first until I was 10 years old. Then it was like, okay, there's no games to go watch. There's nothing in the papers. There's nothing to consume. When I became old enough, I started following Argentina in the World Cup. So since '94, I haven't missed a World Cup.
Really?
And this one, I have my daughter. She's 6 now. At the time she was 3, and she, we were having a great time watching her celebrate the goals, with the jersey on TV, and they start winning, and I'm like, so I could tell you every stadium we were at, in all over the world where I watched us lose and have to get on the next flight home. And now these guys are going to win. There's no way. And then my friend that I travel with, he's like, we got to go. So we said if they beat Croatia in the semifinals, we were going to jump on a plane. And so they won on a Tuesday. On Thursday, we were on a flight out, and we caught the third place match, Morocco, and then we caught the final. So I was actually there, and it was incredible, right?
In that moment, did you think the Coleman was the end of the game?
And there was 2 plays. One, the Messi shot that that could have made it 3-2, or 4-3.
Yeah, 4-3.
That was saved, and then Colomwani's save that was ridiculous. Yeah, those 2 moments, incredible. But all the stars aligned.
Yeah.
Right. So Messi, Di Maria, both from Rosario. I'm more I obviously love Messi in the world side, but in Rosario, Di Maria is my club. It's from Rosario Central, my club. So when I go to Rosario, is different than when I'm here.
And then I want to ask you 2 questions that kind of go like hand in hand. We'll start with the tough one. What's been the toughest loss that you've had to endure at Long Beach State, and then kind of your favorite win during your tenure here?
Toughest loss. There's a lot of you remember more losses than you remember the wins. Yeah, I mean, I think that we've lost in 2 Big West finals, and those were painful because you're right there. We were actually talking about one of them. We lost in PKs at home, and I'm like, man, I can't believe I just lost a final at home in PKs. But luckily that year we were 28 in the RPI, and we still got picked as an at-large, and the brackets were already done. So that game didn't even matter for us,
Mm.
but it mattered for the other team because they got to go
To qualify, yeah.
which is fine. Which is fine. We'll think for the conference that way. And I think the best wins. Obviously, we have a few of those in finals, in Big West finals. Obviously, the most important one is winning the Sweet 16 match at UCLA against USD. Playing against one of my best friends in the game, Coach Ada Greenwood. That was a fun one. There was one here against Michigan. We were down 1-0 in the 88th minute. We scored 2 in 90 seconds to beat Michigan, and Michigan was ranked 10th in the country. That was pandemonium. The beach hooligans were alive and stormed the field. But yeah, a lot of good memories. And then obviously some tough, painful losses.
Touching on last season, you guys in the coaches poll were picked to finish first, right? You had a lot of key injuries. Realistically, without those injuries, where did you expect last year's team to have finished? And do you think there's some mistakes maybe in the adjustment because of those injuries that led to the conclusion of that season?
Yeah, last season was tough. If it was, but I feel really good about how we adjusted, reinvented the team with what we had. And yeah, we've been picked to finish first, I think, each of the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And that's just a tribute to the program and the history of the program. And last year, rightfully so, we had a great spring where we beat USC, who won the Big Ten. We beat them in spring 3-0, beat Pepperdine, beat some other schools. We were shutting teams out. And obviously things changed with some of our personnel losses, but nonetheless, it was opportunity for other players to step up. So our captain right now, Jordan Candelaria, who's New Mexico Gatorade Player of the Year, she was one of the players that didn't play a lot her freshman year, and she had to step up, and she had a stellar year. And so there's a lot of things that things always happen as they should.
Yeah.
Right. And this is a year that was atypical for us in terms of, how many players, we weren't able to count on, but it was also atypical that we were able to find other players to step up. And I do feel like we were on the right path at the very end.
Yeah.
But we just ran out of time, and we had given up too many points to really we found out 10 minutes before that a result didn't go our way at Fullerton.
Yeah.
And Fullerton was supposed to win at home, and they tied. And so then we had no chance in the last game, but we had given ourselves a chance to be there at the very end.
Yeah.
And yeah, we took some painful, whatever painful experience, whatever that was, the lessons that we took are now in play.
Passed down, yeah.
Yeah, now in play for this next phase, which is our spring season, and we have a game tomorrow against San Diego State. We're excited to get after it.
And then just the reality, I guess, of sports now, right? College transfer portal being such a hard piece. Last year, you guys bring in Liz Warden. She's out the next window. And then Julia Moore had become such a central piece to that midfield, right? Gone. Just how do you kind of adjust as a coach knowing how quickly a piece of the puzzle can be gone?
You got to adapt. It's the way, the portal has been, there's some positive things with the portal. Players can be free about what they want to do. And obviously it affects programs in certain ways, but it also benefits us. We were able to pick up Radisson Banks from University of Washington right now in the transfer portal window. We picked up Logan Knighty from San Diego State. And yeah, it's just a new reality. And you have to adapt. I remember when it was very difficult for players to transfer. They would have to sit out years. They would have to go ask for permission, and they could be denied. And now it's player centric. It's good and it's bad. there's pros and cons and everything, but yeah, that's the reality that we have to adapt to. And yeah, we're adapting in that way, and we are actively searching in the portal just like all the other programs, right? So that's just a new reality you have to adapt to.
And then with those spring games starting tomorrow, what's kind of going to be the biggest thing that you're looking out for with the games beginning tomorrow?
I think we've put in a lot of good work to get to tomorrow, and then tomorrow is kind of the test in a way, and from there you can draw some conclusions, and then go handle the rest of the week that way, because we play the following week as well. But it's a good measure to see where we're at, what we think we have, what we think we can improve on. So it's coming at a perfect time, because our team's been has done a great job of just putting their heads down and working, and really there's no secret. You just gotta work. That's the shortcut. Put in the work.
And then I got one last thing, just the schedule you create. Was that something you just immediately knew you wanted to just create such a hard schedule every year? Is it something you grew into and you felt like you had a contender year in and year out?
Well, the schedule is when we were 30 minutes away from a Final Four, and so it's almost like, okay, that's we're trying to get there. We're trying to bridge that gap, those 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And if you want to be at that level, you got to play toughest teams. So we try to play the as toughest schedule as possible, and our players look forward to that. They come here because of, a lot of them come here knowing that we play those games. A lot of them maybe commit after watching us play a big game on George Allen, in front of a couple thousand people. And so it's something that's just become a part of our fabric. And we know that that's when we're going to get our RPI points. That's when we're going to get maybe a big result. We've got three at-large berths in our history. We've won some big games. And you can only win those games if you schedule them, right? And everyone gives us the respect that if we schedule somebody away, that they come back and play on George Allen. So we've had all the top teams come back and play us here, which is the respect they have for the program, and then our players thrive to have an opportunity to play in those games. So yeah, it's something that's now become part of our fabric, and people look forward to games on George Allen. Last year I don't know if we broke the attendance record, but I know we reached our financial goal for the year with the games that we had, and we kept a little bit of our streak alive. By getting a result against a ranked opponent, we tied number 4 BYU, which is nice. The year before we beat Harvard, who won the Ivy, and they were like 11th in the RPI, which was nice. The year before that, I don't know what we did, but we had. If you look back historically, we always get one or two results, and we're trying to just keep going. Right? That's just what our program has become, and not easy, but in soccer, you always have a chance, right?
Yeah.
So. And then I want to get my final one in here too. When you came 21 years ago, did you expect to stay this long, and has it kind of changed throughout your time just being here?
Yeah, no, it's changed quite a bit. I don't think I live my life 45 minutes at a time. Get the halftime.
Yeah. Get the halftime.
No, I don't know that I thought about how long I would stay. I just know that I really enjoyed it, and yeah, it's changed quite a bit. But I always like to see that Long Beach State is in the conversation. We came in, and it was like, okay, who are the top dogs? All right, and then it was Cal Poly, and then it became. Then we were fighting against Irvine, and then we were fighting against Fullerton, but it's always us fighting, right? So I enjoy always being in the conversation, as getting picked near the top of the conference and having a chance to win trophies, and then obviously I'm really proud of everything that Long Beach soccer has become, the community, right? Both at Long Beach State. And Beach FC, Long Beach City College, and and watching coaches grow. And a lot has changed, but it's been an honor to be here. And we just looking forward to spring and get that first 45 minutes out of the way.
Before we let you go, speaking on the spring, is there anything else you want to say? Wrap up. Is there any way fans can get out to even see a spring game?
Absolutely. First of all, our trainings are open to the public.
Mm-hmm.
So we train 8 to 10 every morning. And then, the games are free admission in the spring. So we have only home games.
Mm-hmm.
So we play tomorrow against San Diego State. We play next week at 5:00 on May 1st against, we play against Point Loma. Then we play, I believe, Cal State LA. Then we have, and I think we finish up with Southern Utah. And we have an alumni game in between that. But all our games are open to the public if they want to follow us on Instagram, LBSU Soccer, and they can get information on the games. But I think we're going to have an exciting team. And so, we're excited to get going here for 2025. And first of all, I want to thank you guys for calling me and getting me here in front of the camera and be able to connect with our fans and with Long Beach in general, and just super thankful to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us for Season 5, Episode 5 of Teed Up. Thank you to our video editor and producer, Aiden Swanepoel, our multimedia producer, Elle Nicklin. If you want to stay updated on the latest in Long Beach State sports, check out our website, lbcurrent.com, and follow us on socials at lbcurrent. Thank you so much for listening. See you guys later.
Go Beach.
Go Beach.
Yes.